Welcome back to another Flutter video. My name is Ohan. In this video, we will learn how to create a basic functional Flutter app with bottom navigation and many more Flutter UI components. On the top, we will have an image carousel, and underneath it, we will use a Flutter list view to list our species. After that, in our app bar section, we will have two action buttons, which will control the layout of our current screen from default to grid view or simple list view with only images of different species. After that, we will create another screen for all the videos of different animals that we have with their names, thumbnail and headline. Here we will use a video player package to create a video player with start, stop, forward buttons and a progress bar. For the last tab section, we will create the gallery section where we will list all the images. Here we will give the user an option to organize the images in list view or grid view, and whenever he taps on any image, it will replace the image at the top. At the end, we will create a detail section for each animal which will contain bunch of images and some facts about it with a little bit of description at the end. So without any further delay, let's start coding. So I have already created a new project and removed the default code from our main.dart file. I have set the title equal to Amazon species and set the debug show checked mode banner equal to false. So in our home, I have set it equal to landing screen. As you can see, in our lib folder, I have created a directory with the name of screens and a dart file with the name of landing screen, only which contains a text in its center. So I have already created two more directories, which are app utils and widget directory. Inside app utils, I have declared all the colors, and this method load JSON data is the most important method in which we will read the JSON data from our asset files. After that, I have also created an array of cover images in which I have only given the names of the specific images that we are going to use. I have also added some asset directories into this project. Inside assets, as you can see, there are different directories. First, there is a cover directory, and secondly, we are using a data directory. Inside data directory, there are two JSON files, animals.json and videos.json. In utilities folder, as you can see, we have defined function load JSON data. Through that function, we will load this JSON file so that we can treat them as an object and we can use them inside our project. As far as the asset goes, we have our galleries directory in which it contains different animal pictures, images and videos. After that, in pubspec YAML, I have used a video player package that we are going to use to develop a screen where we can play our videos. And lastly, we have also added all the assets directory into our pubspec YAML files so that we can easily access them into our project. Otherwise, if we do not add assets here, it will show us error. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to create a browse screen. So for this purpose, let's go back to our landing screen, and first of all, what we want here is we want to have a bottom navigation bar. So for bottom navigation bar, we have to provide an array of items, and before this we will change the type to bottom navigation bar type dot fix, and we will change the selected item color to color yellow accent and unselected item color to color white. For the background color, we will use color black with the opacity of 0.8. Now if we reload our project, you can see there is an error because we have to provide more than two items in the bottom navigation bar. So for this purpose, we will use bottom navigation bar item, and inside this we have to provide an icon. In my case, I have used three bottom navigation bar items, and as you can see now, if we reload our project, you can see there is an error because we haven't provided the label. So let's provide the label for all the three: browse, watch and gallery. Now if we reload our project, you can see that there is a bottom navigation bar, but we are not able to switch the tabs. For this purpose, we will invoke the on tab property of bottom navigation bar, and to use this on tab function, we are going to create some variables that we will need in the future. First of all, we will create a variable of current index and set the value equal to 0. After that, we will create a variable of page controller that will be helpful for us to navigate between the tabs. Thirdly, we need a list of widgets that we will use to navigate between all the three tabs. So let's create three new screens, new widgets. First of all, we will create a content screen of stateful widget, and in the center we will just print out for now content screen. Similarly, we will create all the remaining video content screen. Let's put text in the center, and after that we will create the gallery screen. all of them are the stateful widgets. As you can see that, let's put the text of gallery screen. After that, we will call all the screens or all the widgets inside the tab array, so that we can use it in the future. So now what we will do is we will create a dispose method to dispose our page controller after it has been used. So okay, we have created our dispose method. So let's in the body property of the scaffold, we will use a page view widget, and for the page view widget we need two main properties, controller and on page changed. For the on page changed, we will set the state of current index equal to the index on which the page view is working on. So now we will go to our on tab property of the bottom navigation bar, that set the current index is equal to the index. And now the main important part is we will invoke the page controller animate to page method, and inside this we will pass the required parameters. Duration we will set equal to 500, and for the animation we will set it equal to curves.ease. So we have called the animate to function, and now if we restart our application, you can see that if we click on the tabs are changing, but the color of the active element is not changing. To change this scenario, what we will do is we will set the current index property equal to the current index variable that we have declared. So now as you can see that the colors of the tabs are also changing. So now let's create our content screen. For this purpose, let's go back to our Android Studio, and inside the content screen scaffold widget, we will call the app bar property, and inside the app bar property we will set the title equal to Amazon species. Now if we reload our project, you can see that the title is visible. After that, let's give the color background color to scaffold, and in my case I have given color black with the opacity of 0.7. Same I will use for the app bar background color. And now if we reload our project, you can see that the title is not visible. For this we can change the foreground color to color white. As you can see, our app bar is good and working. Now what we will do is we will create a list of type map, and we will name it animal list. Inside this we will store the values that we are going to fetch from our JSON file inside our assets directory. For this purpose, we will invoke the load JSON data function that I have already created in the app-utils file, which will read the data from our JSON file and return us with a list. So what we want to do is we need to provide the path to the JSON file inside the load JSON data, which will be assets data and then the animal.json file. And after that it's a future method, so we can use the dot then callback, and inside this we will check if the data is not equal to null. We will set the animal list equal to the data that we have received from this JSON file. So for body we are going to use column widget because all of our widgets are going to be vertically aligned. Let's comment here for the image carousel. We will create it later. After that we will give a size box of height 10.0, and after that we will use a widget list view.builder to list all of our animals. And for this purpose, inside the item builder we have to return a widget so that it can be developed there. In our case, first what I want to do is I want to give some padding from both sides, hence I have used edge insets dot symmetric, and for vertical I have given 5.0, and for horizontal I have given 8.0. And for the child of the padding widget I am going to use row because we are going to align our items horizontally. First of all, I will use the clip text widget, and inside this I am going to provide the child of image.asset because we are going to use the asset images. So now here provide the path to our asset image which is assets inside hero directory, and here I am going to use the animal list that we have created above, and call the image key from our JSON data here, and let's add the extension at the end. Now if we reload our project, you can see that there is an error that the render box is not layered, so we will add the expanded widget at the top of list view.builder. Also we have missed to add the item count for our list view.builder, and for the item count we will use animal list.length. Now if we restart our project, you can see that the images are out of bound. Before setting the images, let's add another column inside the row, and for this we will use the cross axis alignment to cross axis alignment.center, and also add the expanded at the top. Inside this we will use a text widget, and inside this we will call the animal list index, and we will call the headline from our JSON data. and let's give us some styling to it. For the styling we will use text style and set the font size equal to 12.0 and color to color white. Max lines we are going to use 2, and if the text overflow we are going to use text overflow dot ellipses. So now if we restart our application, you can see that still the images are out of bound. To resolve this issue, we will give height of 90.0 and the width of 120.0, and fit we will use box width dot cover. Now you can see that the image and the headline is shown on the screen. We also have to add the name of the animals. So for this purpose what we can do is we can simply copy the text widget from here. Let's copy this text widget, and we can reuse this text widget above, and let's change the headline to name and font size to 20, and we will also make it font weight dot bold, and we will change the color to color light green. And now if we reload our project, you can see that the animal name and the headline is showing on the screen. So now what we will do is our listing is done. We will go to our widget directory and create a new dart file with the name of slider underscore widget. So what we want to do is we want to create an image carousel at the top of this screen. So for this purpose let's create the variable current page we are going to use, and after that we will use the stack property at the top, and inside the stack I am going to use a size box with a width of double dot infinity and give a height of 200. After that I am going to use another widget page view dot builder, which is similarly to the list view dot builder, and inside the item builder I am going to return an image dot asset, and I will call the asset images that are the cover images from the cover directory, and here we will use the cover images index. Here the cover images are the images that we have declared inside our app utils file. We will change the fit to box fit dot fill, and for the item count we will set the item count to cover images dot length. And now on page changed, because if the user swipes, what we want to do is we want to change the state of our current page variable to the page that is the user have swiped. So now let's call this slider widget inside our content screen. Let's import the slider widget here, and now if we restart our application, you can see that there is a slider of images at the top of our screen. So what we want to do is we need to create a page view indicator, and before that let's increase the height to 280. Now it looks more beautiful. Now come at the bottom, we will create a function with the return type of widget with the name of build page indicator, and inside this we will return a row and set its main axis alignment dot center. And for the children what we are going to do is we are going to generate the widget according to the length of the cover images that we have provided. And what we are going to do here is we are going to return a container with a width of 10. We will give the height of 10.0, and let's give a margin, and for the margin I'm going to use edge insets dot symmetric, and for the horizontal we will set it equal to 4.0, and for the shape of the box we will set it equal to box shape dot circle. And for the color, if the current page is equal to the index, we will set it equal to white, and if it is not, we will set the color equal to black. So now inside our stack we are going to position this build page indicator. As you can see, it's on the top. What we can do is we can change the properties like bottom. If we set it bottom equal 10.0, it will be at the bottom but at the left of the screen. To put it in the center, we will set the left and the right equal to 0.0 in the position widget. So now our content screen is ready. What we can do is we can move to the action buttons that we are going to create in our app bar. So in our app bar, what we can do is we can create we will use the action property, and inside the action property I'm going to create two buttons with the widget of icon button and on pressed. For now let's keep it empty, and for the icon I am going to use icon widget, and inside icon widgets let's call icons dot a view list. So what these buttons will do, they will change the layout of the screen. If we want the user want it to be the grid view layout, or if he want it to be the list view layout. So for this purpose we will create another variable at the top with the name of is grid view visible, and we will set the value equal to false. So now let's change the size of the icon, and we will give it a size of 26, and let's change the color also, and we will give it a color white. So we need, as you can see, the button is showing at the top right of the app bar section. So we can simply copy this button and we can paste it down below to reuse this. So now inside our first button set state, what we will do is we will set the is grid view active equal to true, because it will show the grid view state of the screen. So inside our second button, what we will do is we will call or create a method with the name of grid switch. Before that, let's change the icon of the second button. As we want it to represent the grid view, we can use the icons dot grid on. So now let's change the color. Before that, let's change the size, or we want to keep it the default size. For the color, we will change the color to colors dot teal. Now if we reload our project, you can see that there is a teal button of the grid view at the right side of our app bar. So now according to our grid view active or not, we need to create another view. For this purpose, what we will do is inside the body we will check if the grid view is active. We will create another grid view dot builder here, and inside this what we are, and after that we are going to use an column to represent that if the grid view is active, we are going to show the grid view, and if it is false, we are going to show the column widget. So for the grid delegate, what we are going to use is we are going to use silver grid delegate with fixed cross axis count. For the cross axis count elements, we need to provide the elements. So for this purpose, what we are going to do is at the top of our widget, we are going to create the variables that we need. So firstly, we will create an element variable which will be of the type of int, and we will set a value equal to 1. And now if we go back, you can see that the elements error is gone, and inside the item builder it is the same as of the list view dot builder. We are going to use two parameters will be context and the index. And we will return a widget which will be clip react. I am using clip react for every image that we are going to use, because we can change the border radius. We can give it a shape, a light circular, or we can make it a rounded. For the border radius, I will set the border radius dot circular to 15.0, and for the child widget I am going to use image dot asset, and inside this we have to provide the path of the asset image that we are going to use. So in our case, we are going to build a grid view. So here we will use assets hero, and inside this we will use animal list and the current index, and we will call the key value of image from our JSON data. Let's give some fit property to the image.asset. We will use boxfit.cover. Let's indent our code. So what we will do here is we will provide the item count, which will be the animal list dot length. So we have changed the is grid view active layout. So what we want to do is we also want to change the icons. For this purpose, what we can do is we can check if the elements is equal to 2, that if it is the grid view, we will set it equal to icons.grid on, otherwise it will be icons.grid view outline, so that there is a simple difference. We will also change the color according to this. Firstly, we will use colors.teal if it is 2. If it is not, we will use color yellow accent. So here, as you can see, on the on press section, we have to create a method for the grid switch. And inside the grid switch, what we will do is we will set state of the is grid view active equal to true, and after that we will check if the elements is equal to 1, we will set its state of the element variable to 2. Otherwise, if it is 2, we will pull back it to 1. Here we will use elements is equal to 1. So our grid switch method is complete. We can call it on the on pressed function. And now if we let's press the button, as you can see there is the layout, and the user can see it in the singular view images or the grid view images. So now all the action buttons are working. We can now shift our focus to the watch screen. So here what we need is we need to have a list of animals and their pictures, their name and the headlines. And if the user clicks on them, we want to open another screen where is the video player. So similarly, in our init state, we will use the load JSON data, and we will get the data from the videos.json file. and we will check if the data is not equal to null. We will set state of the video list array that we have created above, and we will set the data equal to the video list. So for the background color, we will change the background color of the scaffold to color black with opacity of 0.7. And for the body, we are going to use a padding widget, and here we will give edge insets dot symmetric padding horizontal from the both left and right side of 8.0. After that, we are going to use the list view dot builder that we have used previously, and here in the item builder we will return a column, and inside column we will use a row widget. And for the row widget, why we are using row widget? Because we are going to arrange images and the title or the headline in a row way. So inside the row, firstly we will use a clip rect widget, and we will give a border radius circular of 15.0, and after that we will provide the path to the video cover images that we are going to use here. And inside this we will provide the ID of the video cover image that we have already stored in our videos asset file, JSON file. Here we can see ID, name and headline. These three are the main keys that we are going to use for our videos listing. So now what we will do is after that we will create a column, and inside the column we will provide the name of the animal and the tagline of the element. Before that, let's give some height and width to this image, which will be 90 and the width will be 120. For the fit, we will use box width dot cover. So now for the column we will set the cross axis alignment to cross axis alignment dot start, and for the text view we will use a video list, the current index and the name, a key from our videos JSON file. And for the styling, what we will do is we will set the font size to 20.0 and the font weight to font weight dot bold. And for the color, we are going to use color light green. Let's give some size box of a width 5.0. Now we are not going to use width, we will use the height, and we can simply copy and paste the text above, and we can change the video list index and give it a key of headline here, and we will change the font size to 12 and the color to color white. We will use max line of 2.2, and the overflow we will set the text overflow dot ellipsis. As you can see there is an error. We haven't provided the item count to our list view dot builder, and here we will use item count and provide the length of our array video list dot length. As you can see that the listing is visible, but from the right side the text is overflowing. So to resolve this issue, we can simply wrap our column inside the expanded widget. So let's give some spacing between the image and the title. We will give the size box of width 10.0. As you can see now our listing is fine, but we want to provide some gap between the items. So for this purpose we will use a divider with a color gray. As you can see that now the listing is looking more beautiful. So now what we want to do is on the thumbnail we want to show the video icon so that the user can get the idea that this is a video. So for this purpose we will wrap our image inside a stack widget, and we will simply use the position widget and give a child of the icon, which will be icons dot place circle outline. So now as you can see that the icon is on the left corner. To shift it into the center, what we will do is we will set all the properties of the position to 0, which is left, right, bottom or top. So now as you can see that the circle is right in the center of our image thumbnail. So after that what we want to do is we want to add an array at the end of our each item. So what we'll do is we will use icon arrow forward iOS outline, and we will set the color white and the size equal to 16.0. As you can see that our video listing is complete now. Let's increase the size to 32 to make it more bigger. Now what we want to do is we want to use a widget, a gesture detector. So whenever the user taps on any item, we can shift to the new screen, which will be a video player screen. So let's create a video player screen widget, which will be a stateful widget. And here what we want to do is we want to get the video path from our previous screen. Hence we have added the video path into our constructor. And so after that we will initialize the video player controller. Let's create the init state method, and inside the init state method we will call the super.init state. And after that what we will do is we will initialize our video player controller dot asset, and inside this we will pass the path of video that we will be provided from our previous screen. And after this we will initialize it, and we will set the state to equal to video player controller dot play, so that whenever the user come to this screen, the video will play automatically. And we also need to dispose the video player controller whenever the user shifts the screen or go back to the previous screen. So now let's go back to our video listing screen. Here we will use the navigator dot push. Inside this we will use material page route, and here we will provide the context, and after this we will provide the widget video player screen. And for the path, what we will do is we can simply follow the previous routine, and we will provide the assets video path. All of our videos are present in our video directory, and we will use the video list index id to get the path, and we will add the extension .mp4 at the end. So now our video player screen, we will use the scaffold at the top, and in the app bar we will use a title widget. So here in the title we will provide the text video. So now if we restart our application to make the changes, and now if we go back to our watch tab and click on any item, we will move to a new screen, and here the app bar contains the video. So now we will change it to video player, and after that we will change the color of scaffold to background color black, and for the app bar we will use the same color black, and for the foreground we will use color white. So now as you can see that the scaffold color is changed, and inside the body we will use a column widget, and we will set the main axis alignment to center. And for the children property, what we will use the video player controller dot value dot initialized. If it is initialized, we will use the aspect ratio widget, and here we will provide the video player controller dot value dot aspect ratio. And for the child we will use video player, and inside this we will also provide the video player controller. Now if we reload our project, you can see that there is the video thumbnail, and the video is still not playing. So after that what we will do is we will use a video progress indicator, and firstly we will provide the video player controller, and after that we will use the property allow scrubbing to true. And for the colors we will use video's progress color bar, background, buffered color and played color. All three will be different, which will be color white, color black and color yellow accent respectively. And after that in the column widget we will use another padding widget, and here we will create an row of buttons that will be pause, play and stop. And for the row we will use main axis alignment dot center, and first row element will be elevated button. And here for the child property we will use icon, and inside icon we will pass icon dot play arrow. And for the color of it we will change the color to color black. Now on the on pressed callback function we will use the video player controller dot play. For the styling we will use button style, and for the background color we will use a material state property dot all of type color, and here we will provide the color which will be color yellow accent. The fixed size property we will set it equal to material state property dot all of the type size, and for the size we will give it a size of 70 width and 70 height. And for the shape we will use the same material state property dot all, and we will give it a rounded rectangular border. And for the border radius we will use border radius dot circular, and we will set the value equal to 100, so the button will be rounded. So now if we reload our project, you can see that there is a button, and if we click on it the video is playing now. What we will do is we will simply copy this elevated button and change the color to colors dot red accent, and the on press to video player controller dot pause, and we will also change the icon to icon dot pause. Now if we click on the play button the video is playing, and now if we click on the pause button the video is pausing. So after that what we will do is we will create another elevated button, and hence this time we will change the color to color white, and here we will change the video player controller property. This time we will call dot seek to property, and here we will provide the duration. For the duration what we will do is we will use underscore video player controller dot value dot position dot in seconds, and we will add 10 seconds, so that whenever the user press on this button the video will forward 10 seconds. So now let's change the icon to icons dot fast forward, and now if we reload our project you can see that there is a forward button, and whenever with the user pressed on this button the video moves 10 seconds forward. So now if we restart a project you can see that the video is playing at the start. We can pause, and the user can also forward the video. So now the video player is working. Let's shift our focus to the gallery tab. So here what we want to do is we want to show all the images of the animals that we are showing in our list view, and we also want to give the user some control that he can change the view of the images if he want it in the grid view style, or if he wanted the single images to show on the screen one by one, and whenever the user clicks on any image it will show at the top in the circle. So what we will do is we will simply follow our previous steps, and we will load the JSON data from our animals.json file, and if the data is not null we will set the state, and we will set this data to our animal list array. After that what we will do is we will create a string typed variable selected animal, and we will pass the path to our first image that we will show in the circle at the top. So now what we will do is we will move to our body portion. Before that we will give the background color, which will be color black with opacity 0.7, and for the app bar we will use foreground color, which will be color white, and the background color will be the same as of the scaffold. So now if we restart our project, you can see that the changes have taken effect, and for the app bar we will give a title of gallery view, and inside the body we will keep the center widget, and inside the center widget we will use column widget, and inside the column widget we will give a size box of 520.0 at the top, and after that we will use image.asset, and inside this we will provide the selected animal as the path. We will provide fit box fit.cover, and we will give the width 280 and the height of 280 also. We will wrap the image.asset inside the clip over to make it circular. After that we want to create a widget slider. So first of all, for the value we will use a grid column dot to double because and after that on changed value we will set state the grid column to the value that the user have changed, value dot to end. So let's initialize the grid column variable at the top. So now what we can do is we can create a grid column variable of type int, and we will set the value equal to 1. So now there are many properties of the slider. For the minimum what we want to do is we will give a value of 1. For the max we will give a value of 3, and for the active color we will use color light green. So now if we restart our project, you can see that the slider is divided into 3 portions, and the value will increase one by one. So the divisions we want it to be 2. We do not want 3 divisions, we only want 2 divisions. So now after that in our column widget we want to create another widget. Let's give a padding from all sides, which will be 8.0, and inside this we will use grid view.builder. As you can see in our previous grid delegate we have used silver grid delegate. We will simply copy and paste it here. We need elements, and in place of elements we will use a grid column, and inside the item builder we will we will provide the widgets that we want to draw on the screen, and for the item count we will use animal list.length, and inside the item builder what we will do is we will return image.asset, and here we will provide the path of the image that we want to draw on the screen, which will be the current index and the key image, and with the extension of .jpg. Now if we reload our project, you can see that the images are listing, but all of them are in a list view. What we can do is we can change the fit to box fit.cover. So now if the user slides the slider, as you can see the grid view is shown. So let's give some elevation to our image.asset 5.0 to make it look more aesthetic. So now if the user changes the slider, it changes the grid view of the screen. So by default we want the grid column to be of the value 2. Now if we go to gallery screen, you can see that the grid value by default is 2, and the user can change it from 1 to 3. So now let's change our focus to our content screen. Here what we want to do is we want to create a screen of animal details. Whenever the user presses on each of these elements, we want to create a separate screen where we will represent the details of that animal. So for this purpose what we want to do is we want to fetch the map of that animal from our previous screen. So let's get back to our previous screen, and let's wrap this clip text into a gesture detector, and inside a gesture detector we will use on tap functionality, and we will use navigator.push, and inside this we will use material page route, and here we will provide the animal details screen with the map of the animal that we are going to show on the next screen. Simply because we are using two layouts, we have to wrap this row inside a gesture detector, and similarly we will paste the same code here. Now if we restart our application and press on the any animal details, we will move to the next screen. So to show the back button, we will use the app bar, and inside the app bar we will change the background color to color white dot with the opacity of 0.3. Same for the scaffold, we will use the color white dot with opacity of 0.3. Now if we restart application, you can see that the color of the background is changed. And for the title of the app bar, we will use the text widget, and inside this we will use learn about, and here we will use the widget dot animal detail and use the key name here. So now if we click on any animal, the name of the animal will appear in the app bar. Let's give some styling to it, and for the body we are going to use single child scroll view because the content will be more than the length of the screen, so that the user can easily scroll above. After that we will use a column widget, and inside column widget firstly we will use image.asset, and here we will use an image of the animal to show at top of the screen. We will provide the path of the image, and if we reload our screen, you can see that the image is right at the top of the screen. So after that what we will do is we will give some size box height of 30, and after that we will use a text widget, and inside the text widget we will call the map widget dot animal details, and we will invoke the name key, and we will set the string equal to uppercase. So now we reload a project, you can see that the name of the animal is very small, so we will give some styling to it. The font size will be 32, and we will set the color to color white, and for the font weight we will change the font weight to bold. We will also give a decoration of text decoration dot underline, and the decoration color will be color yellow accent. So we will align this text to the center of the screen, and after this we will give a size box of 20.0. So now what we want here is we want to provide the tagline, or the you can see the headline of the animal. So here we will use text widget dot animal details and the key headline, and we will give some styling to it. Of font size will be 18.0, color will be color yellow accent, and the text line will be center. So we can wrap the text inside the padding, and we will give the horizontal padding 8.0. So after this we will create an row, and inside the row we will use the children property, and inside the children property we will use an icon widget of icons dot prem media underscore outline, and we will a color of color yellow accent and the size of 31.0. and after that we will use a text widget, and inside this we will provide wildlife in pictures and give it a style of the font size 23.0, a color white, and for the font weight we will set the font weight dot bold. So now the size box, let's give a size box in between them to give some spacing, and for the row we will set the main axis alignment to center. So now as you can see that there is a text wildlife in pictures with an icon right in the center of the screen. After that we want to create some gallery images of this animal so that the user can swipe horizontally and see those images. For this purpose what we will do is we will use the item count, and we will provide in widget.animal details gallery, and after that in the item builder we will return the image.asset, and inside the asset we will provide the path to the images that we want to show on the screen. So here what is the catch is we also want to provide the image index what is inside the animals.json file gallery key. So now as you can see there is an error that we haven't provided the length, so we have to add dot length at the end of item count. So now we will wrap our list view builder inside a size box and give it a height of 220. As you can see the images are in vertical form, so we will set the scroll direction to axis dot horizontal. So now let's give some padding around the images, and we will give only padding from the right of 10.0, so there is a gap between the images. So now let's wrap the image in the clip react and give border radius or border radius to a circular 12.0, so it makes our images look more beautiful. So as you can see that we will give some size box between the images and the tagline above. So now the wildlife in pictures gallery section is complete. After that what we want to do is we want to create another row. Here we will change the icon to icons.info underscore outline, and we will change the text to did you know a question mark at the end, because we want to create a list view same as above but for the facts, for some facts about the animals. So here what we will do is we will use the page view widget here. So why page view widget? Because we also want to show the indicators, page indicators at the bottom. So we have used page view builder before, that's why we are using here. For the item count, we will simply provide the widget.animal details, a facts key dot length, and inside the item builder we will return a container with a decoration of color black dot with opacity of 0.7. Border radius will be border radius circular with 20.0. As you can see, we have a spelling issue, we have to provide the fact here. So now if we reload our project, you can see there are 3 boxes, and inside the container we will provide the child widget, and inside the center widget we will use a padding, and we will set the padding equal to horizontal 20.0. And for the child we will provide text widget, which will be widget.animal details, fact, the current index, and we will give a style of color white. And for the font size we will use 16.0. And let's align this text in the center so that it looks more beautiful. So now as you can see, our fact section is complete. What we want to achieve is we want to achieve the pages indicator also here. So previously we have created our pages indicator, but on page changed we want to set the current page index to the page index the user have swiped to. So for now what we will do is we can simply go back to our code, and wrap this inside a stack widget. And after this we have created the page indicator, build page indicator function in our previous screen. We can simply copy that code from here and paste it down below here. We can change the length to the widget.animal details facts length, and we can simply copy and paste this build page indicator here. Now if we reload our project, you can see that the positioning of the build page indicator is not right, so we can set it equal to the left bottom 0.0. As you can see, it is right in the center, but we want to give some padding from the bottom, so we set the bottom to 10.0. So now as you can see, the build page indicator is complete. What we want to do here is we want to give some size box of 20.0, and after this we want to make another row here. We will change the icon to icons.description, and also the did you know text to all about, and we will provide here the animal details name. So if we reload our project, you can see that there is a all about a giant ant eater, and after that we will give a size box and a text widget, and inside the text widget we will use widget.animal details, and inside this we will pass the key of the description. And now if we reload up, so here is a mistake, we do not want to paste it in the same row, but after that let's give some styling to our text. We will use the color to color white, and the text alignment we will change it to text align dot center. So now as you can see, the details section is complete. We will give some padding from horizontal, which will be 8.0, and some size box at the bottom. So now let's give some padding to our fact section so that it is aligned with the other widgets on the screen. So now if we restart our project, you can see that we have completed our application. We have 3 tabs, and we have the layout manager at the browse screen. And as you can see, there is a user interaction. A user can swipe the images or the facts and different things. So please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content about Flutter.